Okay, well, trade recap. Appreciate the quality, Max. Appreciate the quality, Max. I've leveraged my phone, leveraged the power of the force to leverage my phone. Let's take a moment. Leveraged a book. I've leveraged my iPad. I've leveraged vitamins, and I've then utilized this. Love. Coming into the day, I thought it would be a day of this. Turns out it was actually a day of this, a massive day of this, right? So that's my current feelings in the day, right? And now let's break it down. Boom! The action that we got out of that daily imbalance and the previous day high sweep, we started moving down here. So I was like, cool, I'm going to be bearish with my bias, okay? So the analysis begins. I thought we were bearish here. Asian session accumulated. London session took out Asian session lows. What was really cheeky and is what made me think, all right, we're definitely going to be bearish, is that we formed this fair value gap after sweeping Asian session lows. So that's telling me that we've got displacement after sweeping Asian session lows. And then at 8 a.m., we use this fair value gap at London. So then I was like, okay, so we can either have a London continuation or a London reversal. Okay. So then I thought we could have a New York reversal or a New York continuation. I really thought we'd have a continuation, especially because we formed that fair value gap at London and we use it to the downside. But at market open, this is what, shook me a bit. So I was like, okay, maybe I need to switch my bias. We swept this London low. I mean, clear stop raid here, right? We didn't close below it. We just stop raided London low. We were in this 4-hour gap and then we started pushing up. Okay. So in an ideal world, what I could have done was gone long here, but I was still pretty confident in my bearish bias. This was market open, we went up, we were chopping around a lot here, but we went up and we went above midnight opening price. We went back into this daily bearish fair value gap. Then I was still confident in shorts. I was like, we can still get shorts out of here. Nonetheless, that didn't happen. And I was also, kind of watching this 5-minute gap. I was thinking, if that gets inverted, I'll definitely be looking for shorts. If we kind of chop around in it, as we did, and then we invert this 5-minute gap, then I can look for longs. There was a 5-minute gap. Sorry, 1-minute gap. Then I can look for longs. Okay. So we continued up. This was a kind of a period of chop, right? We were chopping for a while until we inverted this gap. And that then also signaled to me, maybe we're bullish now. Maybe this is a New York reversal. We get back above midnight opening price. I'm like, okay, maybe we could still get shorts. I was kind of looking for these kind of gaps to get inverted. But once we ran through previous day highs, we ran through this daily gap. And I started seeing on the 5-minute by that point that we'd use this gap. We'd use this gap to be bullish, use this gap to be bullish. We got 5-minute and 15-minute inversions here. Then I was like, okay, I think I'm going to be looking for longs. I could have caught this short here. No, because I have to use the highest time frame inversion. So this trade wouldn't have hit a full 1 to 3, and my target would have definitely had to been this 5-minute gap because we were definitely still bullish. And this would have just been a retracement trade, which, aren't optimal. Once we got a retrace down into that gap, then I was thinking, okay, so now we're reacting out of this gap. We didn't use it. We didn't invert it because if we were bearish, we would have inverted it. Then my thought process was like, okay, so now I'm going to be looking for longs. To look for the highest time frame inversion, which would have been on the 3-minute. So we go to the 3-minute. Our highest time frame inversion was here, out of this 5-minute gap. And I entered long from there. And I was definitely monitoring these internal highs, which were nested inside this 4-hour fair value gap. And I was thinking about moving my stop loss to break even once we hit that. Once we entered this 4-hour bearish gap, I moved my stop loss to break even. I was genuinely a bit unsure. I was kind of contemplating I should wait till this internal high gets hit, but I just bought to break even for the sanity. I did that, and once that internal high got hit, which is a very high probability reversal point, then I brought my stop loss to a 1 to 2. So no matter what, say we got a reversal off of this internal high, I'm always going to walk away with a 1 to 2 of profit. And so I brought it up to the 1 to 2. If it hit me at a 1 to 2, fine, I'll still double my money. If not, I'll take my 1 to 3. Now I'm completely risk-free in this trade. Pricing continued to my 1 to 3. Ideally, I would have wanted to see a push up here for a 1 to 5, 1 to 6, but we didn't get that. Lesson learned in terms of scraping more profit. When I hit the 1 to 3, then I brought my stop loss straight up to the 1 to 3 point, because then as soon as price comes down, I will be taken out at 1 to 3 worth of profit, right? So I brought it straight up at the 1 to 3, thinking that if it comes down, fine, I get my normal amount of take profit. If not, if you want to push up and scrape some more, fine by me, right? I can get some more profit. But what I should have done was definitely positioned my stop loss around here to give price a bit of breathing space. Definitely a good example of just being able to switch up your bias, because I was definitely bearish in terms of seeing a New York continuation, but then we got our reversal, New York reversal. This 930 candle should have been pretty indicative to me that we were getting this reversal, because it was a clear open low, manipulated all this liquidity, went high and closed. And the fact that it hit that 4-hour gap and the London low is definitely what made me switch my mind and think, okay, we might be getting a New York reversal here, not a continuation. I'm just really trying to focus on the mind that I'm bringing to trade now. Pristine, perfect mental state and psychology, then, you know, I'm going to trade amazingly. There's going to be no fear of loss, going to be no over trading. Do you know what I mean? So I just need to bring a perfect mind and perfect execution, and then the profit will come, as it did today. Well, my sole focus was just preserving my mental and just focusing on my mental state.